Say hi to YouTube. This will be on YouTube later. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the Ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you. We can stay notified. Lord Grace has pulled up in a majestic ship, in a powerful ship, talking about the one who's in the darkness. So darkness gonna be his gimmick. He got the black text bubble. Excellent, Mr. Burns. That was good. We got some stuff with Icarus, Big Dick V. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I think maybe that Icarus person might not be Arlene. It's possible. I think that makes sense. But remains to be seen. I think when Traumaray and Pride or Arrogant find out exactly what's going on, we'll get the clear answers. But what do you guys think of the chapter? As I catch up to some comments, what do you guys think of the catch up? The chapter. Look at so is Butterfly Boy looks like the creator. Well, maybe. So you think maybe that's the flare wave is his technique? I guess Icarus is supposed to be Luslec. You think so? You know what? That's not even that crazy because it doesn't have to be a love thing. It could just be an admiration thing. I'm gonna think about that one. To clarify for anyone confused, Butterfly person is not Luslec, but Luslec servant who told him about the arrival of Jitsung and Kel. Yeah, that's what I figured. No, the man in the darkness is loose like butterflies. Is a woman. If you look closely, the hair is different. Okay, and I'm addicted to this chapter. I've reread it so many times. Hello, what's going on? What's up? Oh, that makes sense. I saw you looking all phantom minimish. I like it. Loose like you mean. Oh, chapter was epic. Easy 20 out of 10 for me. Returning to peak levels again. Chapter was great. Best in months. Probably the best part of season 3. No. Last week we were talking about how there are actually 3 SIUs and how they take turns writing the story. It looks like it's the good one's turn now. Icarus was the side piece. Nah, Icarus cannot be loose like I don't want that. I want loose like to just be evil, dark, and powerful. Miss me with the love ish. I feel that. Hopefully, loose like will not be another fraud. Do not leave your girl alone with V. V is mainly what I gather from this. I don't agree. No, I don't. But that's your opinion. That's fine. You're allowed to think this is the best thing to happen in season 3 so far. I have no idea how this is going to play out. What if we don't see Luslec until 2024, but we're building it up now? When Traumaray first came, we saw his silhouette. He didn't immediately appear in the next chapter, and in some ways, I didn't fully love his initial introduction with the stuff that was happening with Bam and Hodge and Sung. So that's up to you. You make that decision for yourself. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong, but I would argue because Stang and Traumaray fighting one another was something that I've been waiting a decade for. That was probably my favorite part of season 3, or one of the highest moments to me. Granted, I actually do like Helen versus Yama. That part is another part that I like about season 3. There's other moments that I really like. Hodge and Sung versus Owl and Holland. When Bam pulls up, that part was really good to me. They recognized him. They used some tactics and strategies and whatnot. But you know me, I'm a little weird. The things that I like tend not to be the things that most people care about in that sense. But saying we're back to peak levels and all that stuff again, relax. We need some weeks of consistency before we go there. I don't herky jerky knee jerk overreact. But I liked the chapter. It was a good chapter. I liked it. Fire chapter. I really hope SIU sticks with Luslec side and we get the rundown of what FUG plans are. It's crazy. Luslec OS. I wonder if the butterfly woman is a slayer or someone important. I thought maybe it was a slayer, but it could be like a Luslec attendee or the people who guard or work with Luslec directly, or I won't say indirectly, but at least like I don't know, guard him or something of the sort. All right, I have to drop off for now, but if the stream ends before I get back, I'll talk more on YouTube or Twitter. All right, man. All right, just at me. This chapter def stands out because of all the mid beforehand. I feel that. The best part of season 3 was Zam Zam and Tiara. I can forget my girl Tiara. I can forget about her. Facts. Good chapter, but I'm getting tired of having teased lore and not actual lore. See, you and I are probably lockstep there a little bit, where it's just like we keep setting up the setup for the setup, but we never actually do the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. So that you know me, I'm always a guy who says execution is everything. The concepts and planning and stuff can be great. I care the most about the execution of the idea. We'll see what happens. Okay, there's a wait. Tierra on that peak 3 season list. Yes. When he said season 3, he meant like the entire season. Nah, I don't think this episode was the best in season 3. That's what I assumed he meant. I like the panels with Icarus story, especially with with Finally Head being there. Blood Matter. I thought maybe I think maybe Blood Matter was the one in the armor. I thought maybe it could be Arihan because he had a needle in his hand, but needles are like weapons a lot of people use though. It was lit though, can't lie. Okay, there's a theory. This is a theory, it's not mine, but it said that Rachel versus V and Icarus child and Bam is the stepsister. That would explain so much. Wait, they said that Rachel is V and Icarus's child and Bam's stepsister. That would explain. I don't get it. This so Arlene. Wait, so Arlene or Icarus and V had Rachel, and then Arlene came into the picture later. Explain that more. I don't really get it. I'm not connecting the pieces. Explain that in more detail for me, please. I like Pretty versus Holland versus Bam too. Yeah, that was a good moment. I'm not really interested by the on the floors we pass. No new life formed line. Does that imply that since them climbing created all the life on the floors? They said before there were only plants and robots that we saw there. Yeah, I think yeah, the Nenea line is it makes sense here. I'm not entirely sure if they created more life, but it did say that Enryu could just create life. Maybe some of them have like matter manipulation or something on on the scale of like Galactus having the power cosmic, and you can grant power, grant life or something. We never know how they could have changed the tower, but yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, I think Butterfly is another out there. Makes sense. Throw in Yuri versus Tiara. That was really good too. The V's child is Rachel's from Icarus. There could have been something that happened and Pixie Icarus was kicked out of the team. Was it Kel Helm referring to Luslec as a god, or was it Luslec referring to a different god? It felt to me like Luslec was speaking about Bam, but I'll pull it up in a second just to make sure. I think the butterfly is Luslec scout. I think Rachel's being special in any ways kind of ruins her, just like being a random nobody forced herself into the story. Half sister to Bam, you mean? Yes, half sister. I agree on her being Icarus's child. I don't know about V though. Okay, interesting. All right, hold on. Let me just pull this up real lickety split. Actually, let's use the no, we'll just use both. Just to be thorough. As thorough as we can be. We'll just use both. So yeah, I think this is possibly an elder or just like a loose like a tendy or something like, you know. You know what? Do you guys remember not the goat Mule Love, but Mule, the weird guy that like stunk and that Yama kind of punked even though he was in a position not in the position of power, but he was an elder envoy. Maybe this guy is like the loose like envoy, you know what I'm saying? It could be something similar in that vein. Okay, let me see the line. Let's see both lines. So, okay, where is it exactly though? FUG, House Layer Karaka, blah blah blah. It must take us there. For the sake of that moment, I have brought the one who resides in darkness out into the world. And Hodgin, then I think the person is talking to Grace here. Hodgin Song and Sir Kelhelm have arrived, Lord Grace. Excellent. Our God will be yearning to observe in person at the game, but this is the family head. To me, this sounds like that they're talking about Bam viewing them taking out a family head. That's how I interpreted it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think differently, and that's okay. Just let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm trying to find the this version of it while it loads. Let me just wait. Blah blah blah. For the sake of this, okay, okay, I found it again. So let's see the other translation here. It is for the sake of this moment that I have summoned to the world the one who has always been in the dark. Mr. Hodgensong and Kelhelm have arrived. Lord Grace. Okay. For our God must be longing to witness the death of the 10 family heads at the great encounter. Yeah, to me that comes across as like him talking about Bam, but I wonder if it's like deeper and it's like through Bam, he's talking about V, and you know what I'm saying? Like it could be a little bit more, symbolic and metaphorical and not hyper literal, but that's how I interpreted it at least. I don't know how y'all did. So Bam and Rachel are half siblings. That doesn't really move me. Like what I guess my question with that is, what do you think that does to the story thematically? What does that add? Like, what does that do? I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not mad at it. It just doesn't really. I don't get any more excited about their dynamic if they're siblings now. You know what I'm saying? The Elder's Envoy. So, do you think the book is empty now that Bam absorbed it, or he absorbed it, but the contents are still there? I'm assuming the content is still there because Bam was like, "We gotta hurry," implying when Gustan gets it and reads it, it'll be dangerous. I would assume that it means it's still there in the content. Yes, I believe Bam was somehow able to absorb the story, but the literal story itself is still intact. And when Gustan gets it or whatever, he will destroy the tower or attempt to, at the very least. SIU did say he'd become a major antagonist in a blog post a long time ago, if memory serves me correctly. To be fair, Karaka stated that there are things that can break the spell on his to actually hurt him. The spear seems special. It can generate and since he's the same as Karaka, it makes sense that he can actually hurt him. Takes an immortal to kill an immortal. Ah, I'm. I feel like we constantly like this is one series that I feel like anytime a character is not doing what they're supposed to do, so to speak, we give 100,000 excuses for why it doesn't work. Karaka has been pathetic for a long time, and it's not just this isolated moment. And I'm very tired of the rationalization that we're doing. I'm a Karaka fan, and I'm telling you, this is very disappointing. Now, I'll admit one part of it is my own fault because of my personal expectations, and I'll eat that and I'll hug that. Because I thought SIU was doing the thing where he hides a very capable character by constantly having them punch above their weight class, so to speak. But when they finally face people on their tier, you get to see exactly what it is they're capable of. Karaka for a long time, I've argued SIU did such a good job of displaying like the different levels of power and discrepancy between the Slayers. Like when he got grazed a little bit by Kelhelm's arrow. You know what I'm saying? Or like I think when in the last station he bodied like one ranker, but I think White bodied like three higher rankers or something of the sort. Where it's like, okay, there's levels to this. But during the time skip, he went from ranker to high ranker. Why? If he was still a ranker, I'd take a lot of this still better. But we elevated him to higher ranker for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. It's very frustrating to constantly see a character who's I'm not s- I'm not talking about their character or characterization or personality. You decide whether you think Karaka is a good character or a bad character, or Rack is a good character or bad character. That's not what I'm commenting on. I think Rack's a great character, but thematically, and in terms of his intrinsic and personal internal motivations, Rack is a hunter. He wants to hunt turtles. He wants to fight. That is his role in a lot of ways, to be a combatant, and he never does that. What is Karaka's role? To someday take down a family head, Jihad. And he's pathetic. And with the way that the earlier parts of the story hyped up FUG in a way, it makes it look a little bit bad. Now, you can say it was a red herring. SIU was trying to throw us off, but I'd argue he didn't do a great job with that. Did the community put a lot of extra stock into these characters by themselves? Absolutely. Yes. And that's on us. But portrayal matters in a story. And if you're going to do a red herring, do it properly. Now, I have completely rewired how I view and see FUG. I absolutely believe that this organization is a complete front for when BAM is ready to take over and lead them to victory. None of these other people really matter to that degree. Not saying there isn't important elders and slayers and whatnot, but this is Luslec did this for BAM. For when Juvial Grace is ready, JVG is ready. And I've just kind of amended my opinion on that. That's what I think. Anyways, sorry for the tangent, but I'm very tired of like I just feel like I'm just tired of I don't like excuses. That's a personal thing, but I just don't like excuses. Karaka's pathetic. Okay, pathetic. Yeah, I think they're talking about Bam. That was my first interpretation. I don't know why they would say Bam is yearning to a family head's death. That's the only problem I have that being said about Bam. He probably doesn't know Bam's personality to that degree. I'm sure he doesn't understand him the way Hajin Sung does. So he's assuming that's something he'd like to witness. But Bam seems more like he wants to free them off from the shackles of them in the tower. So that's going to be an interesting clash. But again, Bam will reform this organization to be something better than it is now. I thought they were talking about the outside God. That's not impossible. But why would you think that though? Like give me your reasoning for why you thought that, and then I'll go from there. Took it that way too. I'm wondering if Mustang wanted Bam to absorb the book that way. I lost where I was at. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Book that way might be what he needs Bam for. Maybe there's a drawback to him opening the book. He wants to avoid that, or maybe him touching it dispelled something, so Augustin can open it easier. Not impossible, because technically Luslec is the Slayer god of FUG, and it's annoying because Luslec has like 3 different speech bubbles. LOSC did this on purpose. What are your thoughts on the plants and machines thing? Um, it's been relatively consistent. Every time I see plant life and machine life, I mentioned this earlier during the literal reaction itself. I think of what Nea said about the initial state of the tower. So I think this is an idea that still hasn't come full circle yet. We'll have to see. But for the time being, I think it's pretty cool. I don't have any deep thoughts. I'm not a. You have to understand with me, I'm not a theorist. I'm not a person who cares to try to prognosticate what's gonna happen. I kind of just take what I have and I analyze what we've got in hindsight and in retrospect. I'm not a theory crafter. That's not my specialty, in my opinion. I don't think I'm good at it. So I don't really overly think about what's going to happen next the way other people do, especially with this story, because I just so many things I just absolutely didn't see coming. Being half siblings makes more sense for Rachel to be jealous now. She was jealous of her brother being chosen instead of her, or for V choosing Arlene instead of Icarus if these theories are correct. All right. Karaka seemed crafty, smart, tactful when he first appeared. Even thought he might have not been as strong as other Slayers. Kind of wish he would do something more, become stronger or something like that. At least I feel it. I feel like he should get pushed up. Karaka should be advanced ranker. Yeah, if anything. What's up, Lizard? Almost 50 viewers. We out here. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. I appreciate y'all showing up. I'm gonna have to do a YouTube stream talking about this though for sure. I might do it today. No, or tomorrow. We'll see. Luslec hides away for a reason. He ain't trying to get clapped. That last line was Kel Helm talking about Luslec, not Luslec talking about Bam, to be clear. It was weird how all the dialogue hit, confusing. Yeah. Yama's only last chance is finally breaking out in his complete full transformation. Luslec about to be Cha 2.0 CBL. Respect Luslec. He was glazing Bam before Cha's born. Before Cha was born. I don't have a specific reason for thinking they were talking about outside God. It's just the first thing that came into my head when I read it. That's fair. So people in here are suggesting that Arlene took V's other kid with her outside and the tower raised her. Lizard, since you're here, do you have any commentary for our favorite segment? Even though we don't do it weekly, if you do, hit me up on the Discord. Karaka being support ranker doesn't make much sense with his role as a Slayer. This is what it is. I just accepted it. I'm not even gonna fight it anymore. I got Tiara. Still got Meal Love. Meal Love out here freeing the Houndborns, the Beaskins. You know what I'm saying? He out here freeing slaves. Like I got what I need. I don't really see Luslec just assuming Bam would yearn for a family head's death though. He should know to some extent of what Bam's been doing, and even if he doesn't know why would he just assume that? To be frank, it's probably a translation problem. But both. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. It is September.
Peace.
Last time that I checked, which means it's like 30% off. So we have 50 people in here. This is so crazy. I appreciate it, y'all. Well, thank you for the subscription. Where was I? I do think that's gonna cause some conflict. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that's an interesting clash of philosophies and ideals. Like the person who's supposed to end up being the god of FUG and leaving everybody, whatever. And you're by the way, was it Blaze who said this earlier? Was it Blaze? I'm sorry. Yes, I tend to forget sometimes that Luslec is still considered to be one of the Slayers, not just the leader of FUG. I have to remember that. I actually forget that very often. So yeah. Karaka thing was so funny. SG had no plan for him and took him out in the most bitch way possible. Let me check. We all agree Trauma are gonna die to Bam, right? The three dragons thing is looking kind of. What do you guys think Rachel is cooking up? Do you think she's gonna use a wish when Hua-Ryun brings her to whatever? That's what I think. Otherwise, I think fate is not on Rachel's side. Like Rachel has to like manipulate, destiny, so to speak, to get what she wants, I guess. I don't think she's loved by fate. By the way, if you look closely, Luslec has a scar to his face. Yeah, I saw. It looked like he had a scar, or like I couldn't tell if it was a scar or like his face. Thank you, Chief. Welcome back. We appreciate it. So yeah, considering just how evil Trauma is, it's believable that Bam wouldn't like him at least. As far as Luslec, should know, SAU keeps treating us like we are Arlene by giving us V back shots. Big Dick V, baby. Was SC cooking this week? He didn't. He created an excellent what do they call it? Full course meal. We're eating good this week. It was a good chapter. I think if it's something for Bam, it's some kind of power, and I don't think it would make sense if Rachel can artificially acquire the same ability as Bam to absorb power. But what if through her wish that Gus Dang can grant somehow, it does become possible? What if she just says, I want the ability to absorb? I want the 25th Kirby suck ability. Pause. No pause. Play, nigga. If Rachel wished for Gustin to kill Bam, do you think he'd make the attempt, or would he break his promise of granting her wishes? I don't think he'd do it, unless he has a good reason to. Rachel just like Guts for real. I think Rachel would try to swoop in at the end of the battle and try to take it. I want to be worthy. Type beat. Yeah. I wish to be worthy of this power. I cannot grant that wish, you stank ass bitch. Like, so funny. You know what? Shadowrun is like, oh, no, I can't do that. It just be like, oh, no. Oh, no. But yeah, what's Rachel plotting? And what do you think the monster is at the grand game, the chess game thing? Do you think it's one of the three dragons that Leviathan was? I think Leviathan brought it up to Bam or something like that. You think it's that? Like, what are you thinking that it is? There's so much happening right now, and like I feel like I don't have a solid grasp of everything that's going on. That's not inherently a bad thing. It's not a criticism. So relax. My point is just that there's so many moving parts that are still malleable. It's like I'm trying to hold water in my hand, and I'm just trying to see how they all intersect and how this all gonna complete and close the circle when it's all said and done. Because I have the book, I don't understand the book thing. I don't really understand the memory stuff fully yet. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with the Clash. Now we have Luslec coming. What's going on with Lobadon, Keating, and them? The Pobedal family also seems to be having some internal disputes. There's a lot going on. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot going on. Mustang seems to be developing ways for anyone to use their regular abilities to not be possible. Is that why you think the Shinwan Ryu ships exist? That's interesting. To be able to somehow use techniques and abilities that our regulars can do or circumvent the rules of the tower? Well, yeah, by like he said he wanted to like make nobody special. He's kind of making nobody special by making everybody special. He's on his syndrome gimmick to give everybody in the tower an ability to kill an irregular. He's on a syndrome gimmick. Syndrome was still one of the greatest top 10 antagonists of all time, baby. I'm telling you. He a hater though. He a hater and a baby. Actually, not top 10, top 20. The thing with Bam going to Lobaton wanted the book, not what's in it. He just wanted to broker peace and not fight the Pobedov family. But I guess if Bam tells what's in the book, I guess Lobaton will change his goal for what he wants to do. What if they write? And I don't think that would work. I hear what you're saying, though. Is Bam coming to him and telling him what's in the book enough for him to be able to use that as a bargaining chip? Or does he need the physical book itself? That's a fair question. I don't know. We'll see. I think Bam tends to command a certain type of respect or gain people's respect. So I think maybe just through who Bam is, Lobanon might take a liking to him and decide to help out, or at least not be an obstacle. I say this a lot with people in my life. I do need help sometimes. And if you're not going to at least help me, all I ask is you don't become another obstacle in the way of in my path, in my war path. Remember, Gus Dang has the bracelet. Make it look like we'll steal it and we'll kill Trum. If a family head dies, I wish many panels of all the tower will in shock. Yeah, there'll be worthiness. I'm here to take it. I wonder if it's another ancient. That's interesting. SIU setting up dome crazy shit. I can't wait for everything to pop off. I've said it for a bit. I think Rachel has already used the wish to become an informal jihad princess. Gus Dang is the person who invented that process, and it's something that she would want to be. Well, that'd be one wish though. Didn't she get 3? She got 3 wishes, right? It was 3 wishes. So even if that's true, she would still have 2 more. That's interesting though. We'll have to see. I have no idea what she's cooking, but I still think Tower of God is at its best when Rachel is involved in some way, shape, or form. The most interesting part now is how unpredictable the situation is. Now we have FUG might make a move when Lopo BS start collapsing. Their movement might make another family head make a move because Jihad told Traumre that the three strong families shouldn't get involved because it was only Pobeda. But if FUG enters the fray, I might see another great family entering the battlefield and maybe another army corps, especially that specifically Luslec might be moving. My question to you is, which family head do you think would be dispatched, if anything, if one was coming? And if you are somebody who's supposed to keep Luslec in check, would you care? I forgot to mention this in my little FUG Karaka rack rant though. I fully understand why these guys don't take them seriously. I get it now. They're a joke. They're a joke of his organization for now. That will change, absolutely. But for now, they're a joke, and I see why they see something as Wall Hike Sung being way more dangerous, even though it's top heavy with like a loose Lek and Bayek Ryu. I get it now. I really do. I don't get why Gustang took Rachel in anyways. Bam helped his ass get the bracelet. Anyways, I get that he happened to put the stingray on Rachel, but that's all. I guess you just like you could stay here if you want, and Rachel just was putting that second command guy under his thumb. I don't have the answer for that. But I understand your questions. They're good questions to ask. If everyone's an irregular, that would be a good way to destroy the tower, give everybody a nuke. Right now, my opinion, there are too many parts going on being shown at once. I'm fine with more moving parts, but these chapters don't feel like much happened. Story progress wise, comparatively to its length, because of it. I hear what you're saying. Also, if Luslec is moving, I don't see Jihad doing absolutely nothing during the Great Game. What do you think? What do you think Jihad will do? You think he'd rig it or something to make Gustang lose? What are you thinking? Luslec is an S rank hater though. He lives to see these motherfuckers die. Hating for 20k years or something like that is insane. Yeah, man. Real haters, we be hating always. I'm a real hater, but I don't always be hating. Does that make sense? Maybe Icarus was a setup or manipulated by V to betray Arlene, and Rachel is a product of the manipulated fate and regrets her existence. Maybe her wish to see the stars, V was weaponized against her, and she was framed as a traitor and faced some type of unfair judgment for her sin. This could have led to the tragic event that the family heads wanted to forget, and it's the spark that fuels Gustang's desire to destroy the tower. Maybe Icarus was burnt to death by the tower's people. No clue, though. It's interesting. It's interesting to think about. I do think the story of like V just self-deleting or whatever and Arlene. So I think there's a lot more we need to learn. So we'll see when we get there. What are your thoughts on FUG existing just for Bam or him being leader in the end? That's kind of like I've had this thought for about 2 years now. So I'm okay with it. I guess I've just reconciled with that fact. Would have maybe toned down how a lot of them were portrayed in season 2 and earlier on, just so that it's a little bit more congruent with what I'm seeing now. Because in some ways, I do feel like he tricked us. Not that he like tricked us not in the sense that he like put fake clues and red herrings. He just straight up was like, "Oh, nah, this is not it anymore." But sometimes when you're writing a long story like this, where you produce a chapter weekly, things change. Popularity of a character might prompt you not to kill them or keep them in the story. A writing process is not easy. It's not easy. The way SAU introduced Luslec with that nigga having them black speech bubbles, I'm hopeful. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Maybe Luslec will give Bam the last thorn fragment, or maybe this is what reached. Maybe reached the looking. Oh, you think maybe it's a thorn fragment there? I guess the thorn fragment would have to be guarded by something though, because it says it's like a monster there. We'll see. We'll see. I've been saying from the start, both family heads will lose this war. I don't see Gustang winning without losing something huge. So win, but like I've won, but at what cost? Okay. Dang, we still don't know who Gustang was talking about too during the floor of death when he said he gave the stingray to their pawn. Example, Rachel. Maybe that person is why he saw as Rachel, possibly. Honestly, where that was honestly it's hard to call Luslec a hater because he was probably just sleeping for thousands of years until Bam came and his alarm woke him up. Example, Uncle Traumre could lose all his family members and have lost in that sense. However, Gustang will lose something more valuable to him than in the family were. I guess you're coming from. I hear what you're saying. It's like how I would say, like in a superhero movie, when they stop a bad guy, but maybe you lost somebody near and dear to you, and there's a lot of civilian damage and the structural integrity of the city has been leveled. You did win, but it came at a huge cost. Consequences don't often mean death. It can be something like, near and dear to you being lost. I would still much prefer Rachel being a kid of Jihad than V. I'll let you guys theorize on who the mother is, though. I have my thoughts. Share your thoughts, man. If RE family is truly peacemakers and hate fighting, I can see them trying to stop the fight. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was thinking, who else is loyal to Jihad? Was it RDA Han? Was he loyal to Jihad too? I don't remember. I don't remember too much about anymore about TOG, so this might have been disproven, but there might have been only plants and robots again, maybe made by the workshop or someone, but some org else that makes these towers, or they at least put them in the towers, and some creatures like agents might have been also experiments or something, and the 10 family heads actually brought human life into it. It's not impossible. V and Icarus may have had the same relation to that Bam and Rachel have, but in reverse. Okay. I don't even remember anymore. Is Bam missing any thorn fragments anymore? I think there's supposed to be 4 or 5. I think when he has 2. It's actually been a while. I don't remember either. I'm wondering what if whatever Icarus did will be tied to why the family heads see everyone else as bugs. I mean, they respect Luslec enough to move, but okay, that's fair. I'm not sure what Jihad would do, but seeing that he cared enough to send some power to the hidden flow to stop Bat from getting the bracelet, I think he'd be interested if he sat still while Gustang has the bracelet now and is actively possibly close to destroying what Jihad has built up. That's a good point. Well said. It would be interesting to see if Luslec and Gustang meet each other. They were talking about the Prince of Jihad and it seems to be friends or cool with each other. Tramare is such a bitch. He's like the fifth priority to Gustang, even though the two of them are clashing. Ari is loyal because he lost to Jihad like 10 times and he said he would follow him in the end. That's what it was. Yes, yes, yes. I don't even know how that word is. That something victory. I don't even know what that word is. I can't pronounce that. I've never seen that word before. If Arlene isn't human, what does that make Bam? What does that make Bam? I mean, we've always known Bam has been associated with the monster and the night or whatever, so it's still kind of consistent. I feel like when Luslec meets Bam, he's gonna treat him like a second father on some comedic shit. Aria Han, I'm sure, is loyal to Jihad due to getting his ass beat 10 times. He has 3 and 4 thorn. There, he has 3 and there are thorn. He has 3. He has the exoskeleton thingamajig, the one from the floor of death, and the one that he got with fighting with Pokin and all those niggas. Okay, all right, shit. I thought he only had 2, plus the little exoskeleton. When the beginning of the second season, when Pokemon Master Wagnan threw an antimatter Shinsu bomb at him, that thing popped up. But maybe I'm misremembering. But the way Jihad talked to Trom, I believe the 3 strongest families are pro Jihad, and from what it looks like, Eurasia and Pobadao are against him thus far. And possibly the Ha family is building that up. Bam only has 2 fragments, he only has 2 though. I don't know why people overcomplicate things. In my opinion, Icarus is Arlene to me. I think we might just be overcomplicating it. It could be wrong though. What is it called? Is it Arkham's razor? Occam's razor. Occam's razor. What is it? A scientific and philosophical rule that entities should not be multiplied unnecessarily, which is interpreted as requiring that the simplest of competing theories be preferred to the more complex, that explanations of a known phenomena be subtle in terms of known quality. So basically what that means, that was very philosophical in how it was eloquently said. Um whatever is like probably most likely is the truth. When you are presented with certain stuff and you have certain evidence, when you go out your way to circumvent that and find and pull theories out your ass and stuff like that, that's likely not the truth. So I'm probably with Blaze. Like I tend to think more simply more often than not. I am an out the box thinker, but I don't overcomplicate things needlessly. It's possible Icarus is a completely different person. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I do think we have a tendency, especially with One Piece and Tower of God, to over theorize and over complicate something different. Like when Rogers Bay said that Snake Man Luffy would lick the ground because snakes sense their environment through their taste or something like that. And just like, this is what we're doing. You know what? So, but yeah, but I can't stop it, man. Niggas like to theorize. It is what it is. The first is a Stardust one. The second is a teleporting one. I see the machine and plant stuff like blame the manga. That would be cool. I feel it. The exoskeleton, from what I remember, was made to make his body able to use the thorn or something. Yes, yes. Alchem's razor. Yes. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with all of that. But I actually thought it was a good chapter, though. I enjoyed it. I'm a little shocked. I didn't see a lot of it coming, but I do think that we might need to like start answering some things. I think a danger of having too many moving parts sometimes is that how best to put this? Having too many moving parts at times without a concrete baseline starting point and end point, you just make all the minutiae very murky and messy and muddy sometimes. But I think the Luslec thing, I just hope he doesn't job. That's all I really ask. Hope he doesn't job. Because there's just so much happening right now. I can't even focus on any one thing. So yeah, it ain't easy. I personally don't think Icarus is Arlene. Didn't even cross my mind. I do wonder why Icarus is another name for Arlene, as Trom has heard that name before, and Rachel used that name in the Sword Art arc. Yep. Wasn't Arlene also shown with black hair before season before? I don't remember what color Arlene hair is, but I think when they was talking about Arlene's pocket with Garum, I think it might have been black. It might have been. And we know Rachel dickerized the F on Arlene. I don't think Icarus and Arlene are the same person because I don't think SC would do all these turnarounds and small hints about Icarus. In addition, Traumare will talk with Wagner about love and betrayal. Makes me believe Arlene and V hurt him and he remembers them somewhat, but he can never recall Icarus. I'm not denying the possibility of them being the same identity. I'm not even like getting mad at you for this theory in particular. I just think in general that I don't know if you felt called out. So my apologies if that's how you took it. I just mean a lot of times when something happens, instead of using what's literally on the page, people will just start theorizing a bunch of stuff, and it's just like I tend not to do that. Is all. I'm just the opposite of some people who like to just start throwing out theories. Like Blackbeard having three personalities is something I just never subscribe to in any capacity. Because people are like, yeah, but when he's about to lose, he starts to whine and act like a bitch. I'm like most human beings who are extremely cocky when their life is going well, and when shit goes apart, they freak out. That is a very human trait. Like that's actually very normal. I don't know why they went with three personalities. That's all I'm saying. Like it just, you know. How was the chapter that you read? This is the best chapter I've read in 2 months. Arlene's hair was brown if I remember correctly. Icarus' design is just way different to Arlene, so I don't know. I don't know. Icarus seems to be a doll made in the tower that climbed along the 13 roars. Yes, possible. I guess this will all end in the chess mass. I guess SIU is really about to have the greatest chess match with Luslec and Trom and Gustang and maybe New Slayer. What if they do the Harry Potter thing where like they have to use real people as chess pieces? So like you're your king is like Bam, your queen is like that'd be kind of funny. I'm thinking about it. The really big chess game. When Harry never on the board. Icarus said she wasn't human and didn't and hadn't seen the sky. We all know Arlene had seen the sky and is human and had been outside. Yeah, I would assume Rachel wouldn't like Arlene if she was Icarus, and Icarus was Rachel's mother. It seems like Rachel doesn't like her existence, which seems similar to Icarus, which also makes me not think it's Arlene. Don't don't think Arlene's existence was that. I mean, shit. Would Jihad even like Icarus as well? XD. So if Icarus is Arlene, I would assume Rachel would hate her. No, I didn't take it as a fight or anything, but more discussing opinions. You great? Okay, okay. I was making sure. But yeah, I could be wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I I literally said last week Luslec wasn't coming in this arc, and I was wrong. I'll be wrong, bro. I'm not afraid to be wrong. My mind doesn't tend to go there. I tend to work with the evidence that I have instead of the evidence that I don't have. More often than not. I can't be a conspiracy theorist though. I am a conspiracy theorist, but I don't trust anybody who doesn't have at least one conspiracy theorist. Like you just believe every single thing like you see in the media or like establishment, like you don't have one super suspicious doubt. I don't trust people who trust everything that they see. They're the most useless people in the world. Everything they see and hear, they believe it immediately. Where is your doubt? Press X to doubt. This is a David Cage game. Although you missed one message I sent back in the old chapters, her hair is black. Maybe my issue concession. So whoops. No, I think I commented on it. I said I don't remember what color her hair was. I think it was black when Garum was talking about it. But I feel like when I saw Eurasia's hair, it looked different. It could be the shading, but I don't know. I just don't have the answer to that. I just don't. But yeah, this was good ish though. V cucked Jihad, Arlene cucked Icarus. They're a match made in heaven. I didn't think the bloodline lineage stuff would get any more, would get expounded upon like this. I just gotta say, I don't have any interest in that. I don't know what it is, but again, execution is everything. For all I know, it all comes in a way that makes a lot of sense and is really engaging. I just have no interest in Bam and Rachel being related, and I don't know why. It just does not personally move me, but we'll just have to see how Ish goes down. How Ish goes down. Um, what if Trummer doesn't get out of the maze before the match happens? What if the octopus doesn't want to go to the maze? He's like, no, thank you. I don't want to. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's possible. I'm just super curious with what Arlene's plan was with Rachel. Or shit, maybe Arlene was just that nice and took care of Rachel like her own child or something, and she still ended up being hateful of Bam. But hard to believe that with what Arlene went through. People can be very ungrateful. You have ever heard the saying like, "What have you done for me lately?" Like you're only as useful as what it is you can produce or provide somebody. Some people are super cordial with you and nice to you, and the moment they feel like they can't benefit from you anymore or believe you've changed, they turn on you. Some people are very spiteful like that. It wouldn't be impossible. Some people are truly ungrateful, and Rachel comes across as a very ungrateful character. Don't know her whole backstory yet and everything she's been through. Maybe there's a reason for this, but it actually would not shock me if Arlene was kind to her and one small thing set her off. And I'll be honest, she's a woman. They're different. You could do 100 good deeds. The one bad deed you do, it's over for you. um, Not gonna lie, hair color is completely negligible in a verse where anything is possible with Shinsu, in your opinion at least. I guess that's fair. Makes sense to me. It made sense to me. Um, does Cha know Luslec? Where is he, by the way? It's been months. I don't know. I forgot where he went. He went somewhere. Was he in the Dugon ship? I don't remember where he went. I've not thought about Cha. There's no Korean comments this week. Damn. She's a woman is crazy family. Man, I'm tired of us pretending we don't know what we're talking about when we say this. You know how they be sometimes. We know this. It's no diss. Men and women are different. It is what it is. She probably was jealous, hateful of Bam because he was the one Arlie needed to do ish. If it was to do with that, she could also just be jealous of Bam's destiny or whatever. And that has nothing to do with Arlene. Who knows? It'd be great to see that backstory. Dada Rachel was dressed exactly like Icarus in the throwback. Rachel's idea of beauty was literally Icarus, and we know how Rachel felt about Arlene, kinda. Feels kind of pointless for Icarus to be somebody else apart from Arlene. One of SIU's strengths is that he doesn't actually bring in new characters lore-wise, and that he just expands on the original cast. I can't see him bringing a new character who's as important that we don't know about. Example, Rachel Icarus being someone we don't know. Months for us, but days for the story. Yeah. I wrote this. You wrote dissertation. It's okay. Share your thoughts. You're right. Still crazy. This is why I need a woman in my life, like Power Unit in my life. I feel it. I floated the theory that Arlie may have intended for Bam to be raised as a monster who was militant and raised to hate Jihad and conquer the tower, and Rachel tried to subvert his destiny by secretly raising it to be sweet, naive, in the hopes that she could have that role instead. Rachel is definitely on her um I want to be the main hero of the story gimmick, so stealing somebody's role in Destiny does make sense. And maybe with Luslec believing Bam's supposed to be some he's gonna hate he's gonna. But like, you had Bam for about 6 years in your organization trading with Hodgin Sung. Was he posturizing as JVG that entire time? Like, some doesn't add up. But I think you're onto something. That made sense to me. I hear what you're saying. So instead of him being nurtured to be some jihad 13 great family hating beast, Rachel was like, "Be nice to girls. Here's how you read. Did a this, did a that." Hmm. 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 Rachel is Arlene and that child was neglected and showed no love, while Arlene is over here going crazy, pouring all her hopes and dreams of taking down power into this child's corpse. She just wants to be seen as the one who accomplished Arlene's dream and thus is receiving her love. But just based on what we found so far about Arlene, I can't imagine Arlene being as an excuse me pathetic as Icarus seemed to be. Would make Jihad. Where the hell did the fucking comment go? Hello? Would make Jihad. Oh, would Jihad even like it, for example? I don't know what Jihad's tastes are. I just realized Ghost is there. We still have a confirmation of the V theory of Luslec slime. One of SAU's strengths is that he doesn't actually bring in new characters lore wise, and that is just expands the original cast. Are we talking about the same SIU? There are literally almost as many named characters as there are chapters. I will say this though, in relation to what Scope just said, Arlene seems to be getting more and more malevolent as we continue the story. I don't know why I get this vibe, and I'm okay with that. She might have some hatred to what happened to her and her family and V and everything. It makes sense. Um, by the way, I think this is the coolest ship in all of Tower God. Caliban ship. Oh no! This ship is goaded. This is a goaded ship. This is a goaded ship. But all right. By the way, yeah. But all right. What was your guys' favorite panel? Mine is the ship. I know some people are gonna say I'll say Lord Grace, maybe you're excellent, okay, as far as bars go. Actually, no, Yama admitting he was an idiot is my favorite line. It's like I read one page and forget what I just read, and I'm like, that explains a lot, actually. Thanks for sharing. That explains a lot. Um, that's just kind of funny to think about. As always, I appreciate the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon gang. Shout out to the CBLs, man. We need y'all here. Y'all be loving Bam. I feel it. But shout out to the Priests of Fire, man. Y'all might be the real CBLs because they be loving Brillith. It's Brillith gang till I die. But a big, huge shout out to the Fifth Zen Gods. Shout out to Lazy Dragon, Lucky Roo, Makai, Revenant, Scope, Shoddy to your body, Simi, Tikos, Tino Brown, Zachary Cooper, Zodiac Namco, Zyler Scotty, 5:28 a.m., Big Abdel, Big Allen, Andrew, Childish Nujabis, Tris, Fairs, and Johnny Rogers. Your support is greatly appreciated. I'm going to be making a subscribe star and making a big content push at the end of this year. So hope you guys will continue to support me. I really appreciate it.